It's Thursday, November 6th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. And we have a great show for you today. I'm your host, Jacob Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Jacob Gramegna. Jacob, got a great show for today. Let's break it down for us right now. Matt Russell. Haven't talked to him in a while. I'm excited he's going to be on the show today. We're going to talk a little bit about college football. Listen, we've talked so much about the playoffs. We've talked so much about these marquee games. We haven't left any room for like the gross deep cuts in college football, but there's a ton of games you can bet on them, and we're going to look for some deep cuts. Going to talk Southern Miss, Colorado, Delaware, Louisiana Tech. Like we're going deep in the weeds here, and I cannot wait to do so when we bring him on. After him, you know him, you love him. Every Thursday, Hitman is going to be here. He's going to be with us today. Going to break us down Thursday night football preview for the Raiders and Broncos game. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can nab some nuggets from Hitman and find some good bets for Thursday night football. And then after that, finally, we close things out with So Money. We're going to talk some CFL. And then we're going to talk some NHL as well with him and Alex Moretto today as well. So we got So Money on the back-to-back schedule. Which how are we going to delineate between So Money CFL and So Money NHL?
I don't know. We just got to give him like a little second in between.
Okay.
Maybe he's got to change shirts.
Yeah, I was going to say change shirts. Like, do I call him So Money for the CFL and then No Money for the NHL? Like, what?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Okay. All right. Chat, if you have any other ideas, you let us know. Before we get into our first guest, before we get to Matt, just want to quickly remind you guys, if you want to fire on Week 10 bets, we've got our Best Bets show today, 5 p.m. Eastern, over on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Rob, Austin, and Suma going to give out their 3 best bets, 3 favorite bets for the week. They break down every single game on the board, talk through them all, give out their 3 favorite bets. And that's today, 5 p.m. Eastern, on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. So you're going to want to go ahead and check that out. Yeah, make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys do that. Also, we got some like very, very sad news today about Dallas Cowboys player committing suicide. Guys, if you're ever struggling, hopefully you don't ever need to hear this, but if you're ever struggling with something, you can always dial 988. It's a suicide crisis hotline. If you're ever thinking things like that, make sure you do that. Never want to see that. Sad to see. Don't know how else to talk about Marshawn Nealon dead at 24. It's sad. Just thought it'd be important to bring up. Whoever sees this hopefully can help them out. And yeah. Thoughts are with him and his family for today. Not easy to move on after that. Just wanted to remind you guys, 988 if you're ever in a crisis. Please don't be afraid to call that number. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into the show for today. We got Matt Russell coming on. You can find his work and his articles and his podcast over on The Window on Substack. You can also find him writing for Yahoo Sports. Matt, how's it going, my friend? Long time no talk.
My man, Jay. Yeah, it's been a while, brother. How are you?
Good. Doing well. Excited to get into things today because you know what? Like we all on this show, we love to talk about the marquee games. That's like one thing I like to highlight. We haven't gone to too much college football this week, and when we have, it's been more so playoffs, conference finals, things like that. Kind of want to look ahead a little bit, but let's talk about some teams that like no one wants to talk about because there's games that we can bet on.
Yeah, let's get weird.
Yeah, let's get weird. But I will say I want to start with the Oregon-Iowa game because we have yet to talk about it. There's a couple games you want to get weird on, and I'm excited to talk about that. But yeah, let's go Oregon-Iowa to start things off. 2 teams fighting for a playoff spot. Massive win for Iowa if they can beat Oregon. This would like essentially thrust them into contention to maybe be considered for the playoffs. I think they would be at 7-2 right now if they did that. And marquee win over Oregon, that's big stuff. Oregon's like I think they pretty much have to win out. Maybe they can afford one loss to make the playoffs here. Break down this game for us. Oregon 6.5-point favorites on the spread. What do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it seems short, right? Because my projection would have been like closer to 10, something along those lines. But the more that I watched Oregon this season, you mentioned like they could maybe lose another game. don't see how that's necessarily possible because it doesn't look like they would get into the Big Ten championship game. And so if they lose one more game, like we're just kind of out of big time wins. And I think a road win at Iowa is a pretty big time win. But wouldn't it be just like the Hawkeyes to just, like you said, just kind of jam their way into the conversation with right like. But he's looking to have that conversation when it comes to the Hawkeyes. But for me, my issue with Oregon is obviously they play kind of like a weak non-conference schedule, and then they get into the conference schedule. And, even going back to the Indiana game, we were just like waiting for the Oregon that we kind of quote unquote know and love. And I'm an Oregon type of a guy, right? Like I enjoy it when they're in the mix. Like that's always a team that I'm kind of hoping does well. But watching that Indiana game and even some of these other games like Wisconsin, and you're just waiting for a little bit more out of Dante Moore, and it just hasn't really come just yet. And so, now they have to go to Iowa in this game, and I can see why the market is sort of dangling that 6.5 out there going, hey guys, like your ratings probably think that Oregon should be a play here. You're getting the key number of 7, like come on in, the water's warm. And I just look at it going like, honestly, you look at some of the metrics, and over the course of the season, Iowa's defense, Oregon's defense, they're honestly very similar. The offense for Oregon is a lot better, but when you started tighten that up for the last month or so, when conference play has started to come, Iowa might be the better offensive team at this point, which is like kind of this insane thing to say. But really, when you look at more stats, you're just kind of like, yeah, like that looks more like an Iowa quarterback type of stats. So I think Oregon could be in some trouble here, and they've got Washington and USC down the stretch here. This could be when we look back on it, a month from now. If Oregon was like 8-4 or 9-3 and just kind of turned into this lost season all of a sudden, I wouldn't be that shocked by it all. And I think that was that Indiana game that was sort of this hint that maybe this isn't that team that we've seen in years past. And again, like I'm a Dan Lanning guy, so don't get me wrong here. But, this is a troublesome spot here for Oregon against an Iowa team that people don't seem to realize like actually has a pretty decent offense over the course of the last month or so. It's taken some time, but we've kind of gotten there.
Yeah, no, I love this look as well because like Oregon, like you said, the total of this game 40.5, super low. Oregon, I think their offense has been getting more credit than they deserve, like you said there. So yeah, pretty interesting look there. So you can get the 6.5 -110 over at FanDuel. Moneyline's plus 190, which I think across market, if you're looking for like the super upset there, it's pretty good relative to some other shops. All right, let's get our hands a little dirty here. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's go to some. Let's go to the Big 12. Talk about some of the worst teams in the Big 12. Colorado at West Virginia. West Virginia 6.5-point favorites. Total of 55.5 in a game. West Virginia. When I look at these games with teams that are down and out, like what are you playing for? You're playing for a starting role next year. A coach is coaching for his job next year potentially. When I look at West Virginia, I see a freshman quarterback who might be trying to prove something here. They're playing against a 3-5 Buffalo team that's like Coach Prime feels like he's ready to wrap up the season. So West Virginia, 6.5-point favorites. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, and you could kind of see that coming from a mile away, right? Yeah. With Deion Sanders this season, it was going to be that season after the big season, as such as it was last year. Yeah, I mean, but just look at the Colorado defense the last 2 weeks. 43 points in the first half at Utah. And you're like, well, this Utah, like they can kind of take your will, et cetera, et cetera. You're getting Arizona at home the very next day. It's like 38 points in the first half in that game. And so like Colorado's looking at it. And if you're sort of the absolute most optimistic guy when it comes to the Buffaloes, you're like, all right, we're going to Julian Lewis here, freshman quarterback, going to instill some sort of, whatever. And it's like, well, I don't know. Is he going to play defense for them? I doubt it. And if honestly he was that good, he would have been in already because obviously this is going to be kind of an audition, if you will. You mentioned what are you playing for over the next 3 weeks, but you mentioned Scotty Fox, freshman quarterback for West Virginia. He's the one who's actually been doing a nice job in his audition. 300 yards a couple of weeks ago against TCU. And then they go on the road and they outscore Houston in an upset last week. And it feels like West Virginia, who had done the thing that Colorado was doing, which was giving up a ton of points, getting blown out in games, kind of just running out of energy when it comes to the season. They kind of have this juice and, they're not worried about the coach. The coach is, this is the first year for the head coach for West Virginia. He's not worried about the hot seat necessarily. So I think Scotty Fox is going to have another big game this week against Colorado. from a market perspective, like, why is this only 6.5? Well, because most people look at this number and go, like, these two teams are kind of the same, right? Like dregs of society when it comes to the Big 12. And just the way these two teams are going, right? Two ships passing in the night type of a situation where, again, Julian Lewis isn't probably going to play all that great in Morgantown, West Virginia on offense. And certainly the defense just an absolute scene when it comes to Colorado. So yeah, I think West Virginia probably puts up another nice offensive showing here. And as bad as the West Virginia defense has been, Colorado's has been so much worse. If you look at some of the graphs with regards to their market rating or their their advanced metrics, the two logos like hung out around the same spot in some of these charts over the course of the season. And then in the last like 4 or 5 weeks, not even just the last 2 weeks, but the last 4 or 5 weeks, the separation is massive. West Virginia, much better offensive team, and listen, everybody's a much better defensive team than Colorado.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's almost like we knew it was going to be a down year for Colorado. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. This West Virginia team, like we talked about. Let's see what this quarterback can do here. Let's see what this quarterback can do. Let's move on to Southern Miss, Arkansas State. I'm going to tell you right now, Arkansas State plus 4.5 point favorites. Arkansas State's plus 4.5, 56.5 total here. Two teams that I know honestly very, very, very little about, but it's a game we can bet on. So talk us through this game for us here.
Yeah, for me in college football in November comes down, there's many things it comes down to, but two of the main things are, one, who cares and who doesn't, right? We had that in that last game. And then the other thing is, back your belief, right? Back your belief from before the season, and especially, primarily if it has kind of gotten better and better over the course of the regular season. And for me, that's Southern Miss. I had them back at 22-1 to win the Sun Belt. They're down to plus 350. The favorite, they only have to go 2-2 in the next 4 games to make the Sun Belt Championship, as long as they win the 2 games that they need to win, which is against Troy in the season finale and this game against Arkansas State. Southern Miss is coming off of a bye, right? So you're sitting there going like, we need to win these 2 games. We need to game plan against these 2 teams. And, Arkansas State, frankly, not actually a particularly good team. So they've gotten where they are with regards to their record because they've beaten a lot of the dregs of the Sun Belt. They pulled off an upset last week against Troy to kind of give themselves the advantage over the Trojans. They were 7.5 point underdogs in that game, right? Which tells you all you need to know about what the market felt like about Arkansas State. So it's going to be easy to look at these 2 teams and be like, this is a battle for first place in the Sun Belt West, and go like, I'd love the home dog, et cetera, et cetera. I have USM projected at 6.5 here. It opened 5.5, and for reasons that I'm still not sure of, went down to 3.5. It's ticking back up here. We're sitting at, I think you said 4.5 there, Jay.
Yeah.
I think there's still plenty of room here. And again, this is, backing what I've felt about USM all season long in a spot where I know that they're going to give their absolute best. Meanwhile, Arkansas State, they're going to try their hardest, don't get me wrong, but like they have their bye week next week. So they're coming towards the end of a little session here where, they might be kind of dragging a little bit. And as much as you're trying, there's only so much you can kind of give, especially when, like I said, I don't think they're the better team. And I think the market still hasn't totally caught up on what Southern Miss is capable of this season, which I think is even being live in a Sun Belt title game against maybe James Madison.
Yeah, no, I love that look. And I'm just going to flip over and try and find the there we go, conference odds here. Southern Miss plus 310, James Madison minus 230. This is like almost, they're pricing James Madison as if it's like a surefire favorite to win. Maybe take a look at some of the futures as well if you'd like them to win this week against Arkansas State, because like you said, this is a pretty pivotal game for them to make the conference championships. Let's flip over and talk Louisiana Tech and Delaware, 2 Conference USA teams facing off again. Teams, listen, when we start to get further back in the college football like team power rankings, we'll call it, like teams that aren't that interesting, I don't know too much about them. Delaware plus 5.5 at home here, 56.5 total. Talk us through this.
Jay, where have you been the last couple of weeknights? Weeknights. There has to be a reason we've been watching weekday CUSA. There has to be.
Yeah, I honestly have been missing. I've been betting. I've just been missing out. That's the problem. I don't watch. I don't like to watch stuff I bet on. It's kind of crazy.
The reason we've been doing this is so that when they get moved back to Saturday, we can go deep down the slate and be like, oh, I actually know a little bit about these teams. And so I look at this game. First of all, you can look at Louisiana Tech and their best win, ironically or appropriately or however you want to sort of frame it,
was actually against Southern Miss earlier on this season, but they got outgained like 160 yards in that game. Like the box score is a total horror show, right? They actually won that game by 10, and I'm still not sure how. But they've got a 3-2 record in Conference USA, and they have faced a combined 2-12 record of those 3 wins. Those 3 teams that they beat have a 2-12 record in conference, right? It has basically been scooping up again the dregs of the conference. Meanwhile, I was a little bit worried about whether this was this 6-point line was because of concern over Nick Mininucci, who's the quarterback for Delaware. He's basically the entire offense. They should have covered a big number a couple of weeks ago against Middle Tennessee, and they were up 10, and he goes down with an injury. And immediately the backup quarterback comes in and throws a deflected interception. Middle Tennessee goes down, scores a touchdown, comes through the back door. And then they go to play Liberty last week, and Liberty just runs all over them. Western Kentucky can't do it the same way that Liberty does it. So I'm not really worried about that. And so I was worried that Mininucci, who was questionable for last week's game, might have sort of re-aggravated something or so on and so forth. And again, we're talking dark web type stuff. When you type in Nick Mininucci injury update, you're not going to find a ton, right? Even at the best of times for the best of schools, you're not going to find a ton when it comes to injury update. But my guy threw 49 passes in that game against Liberty last week, and the backup quarterback never got in. So I think he's okay. The best I can do here is maybe get to Louisiana Tech like -3 on the road. But again, like I don't have really any respect from a box score perspective for the one nice win that they've had this season. So why would I think that they're going to go on the road to a Delaware team who's still rated basically where they were before the season? Now, Jay, like you got to understand, this is a team that is making their transition to FBS. People didn't know what to expect from them or Missouri State this season, and we've come all this way, found that they've had a pretty good quarterback, and they're still rated just kind of where they were before the season started. So I think they're a little bit underrated. I think Louisiana Tech's massively overrated, especially to get to this number where the Bulldogs are -6 on the road. Like, no, I don't think so. Again, listen, they might win. They might win comfortably. They might find the magic that Liberty had last week on the ground. But no, not for me. Give me the underdog, Delaware. Blue Hens +6.
All right, we're taking the Blue Hens. You got +6, +6.5 out there as well. Yeah, love that. 6.5 -115 over at FanDuel. +184 on the money line as well. You can find like a +200 out there, which is kind of crazy. Maybe go click that.
Yeah, we're going to be in the mix on that one. That's for sure.
There we go. There we go. A couple things before I head out here. I'm going to put you on the spot for a bit. So I'm going to ask you for a future, ask you for something that you're interested in. But before that, I'm going to ask you about this. I'll let you pick which one we're going to talk about first. On FanDuel, there's conference championship games, hypothetical games that are if they're void if they don't happen. But it looks like Ohio State's probably going to be playing Indiana. Right now, Ohio State -3.5, -114 on FanDuel, and totals at 49.5, -110, both sides. Anything you like here for this hypothetical conference game, conference championship game, or would you lay off it at this number? Is this about right?
Listen, I think, as much as we're having fun in the futures market, and, I prefer the conference futures markets because you don't have to deal with everything on a national level, because inevitably every year or every second year at the very least, one team is so much better than everybody else. That might be Ohio State this year, right? So I've got Alabama from before the season started. I've got Texas A&M from the middle of the season. And I'm not going to go any further than that because, honestly, we might be just doing all this, having all this fun this season just to get to a point where Ohio State, again, just kind of pummels everybody. I'd be pleasantly surprised if that wasn't the case. So if you're going to only make me lay 3.5 in that Big Ten title game against Indiana, that Ohio State defense, I'd probably be pretty down with it. And so I can quickly sort of look to see what my projected number for that game would be. But even just in general, I would have instinctually kind of said a -7. Yeah, I mean, again, the market's really psyched about Indiana. I mean, you watch them kind of pummel these teams every week. And I've said it with regards to Notre Dame, right, where they're these teams that if they know that they need to put up big numbers, and whether that's false in the case of Cignetti, right, they just need to win games. They don't need to be pummeling teams, but Notre Dame needs to be pummeling teams. Some of these second halves, man, you watch with Indiana and you're just like, stop, they're already dead. You do not need to run up this score. But when you run up the score and you keep covering these numbers, your market rating is going to go up and up and up. So, I can see why, that hook sort of seems interesting, but honestly, I would probably back Ohio State. My big sort of theory with regards to championship weekend, Jay, if you have 2 seconds, is I think Ohio State's defense does a nice job against Mendoza, and that kind of kills his Heisman Trophy campaign at the last possible second. I think we all kind of realize that Ohio State is defensively better than everybody, has wide receivers better than everybody, and that in a way kind of kills Julian Sands' Heisman Trophy campaign. And then it kind of comes down to the SEC title game between Marcel Reed and Ty Simpson for, who shows out basically better in that game. And so if we're talking about futures, like, Marcel Reed is still sitting there as the fourth guy in that sort of group. And that's not that far-fetched to think that A&M wins that game and the offense is outstanding and he's running around doing all kinds of fun Marcel Reed type stuff. So, I don't think it's too late to necessarily get in on that, because the Heisman has been just kind of a mess this season where, like, no one, you have to have somebody as a favorite, right? And it's just kind of looked like no one's really that into the concept of some of these guys who are at the top of the odds boards. Otherwise, like other years, they'd be closer to like plus 150 or even in the minuses, right? We're like into November and we still don't really have a distinguished favorite here. And when you think about the way people look at these sorts of things, voters look at these sorts of things, that last weekend, man, I think that's going to be this whole deal. It's going to come down to this whole thing is this last weekend, championship weekend.
Yeah, that's a great point there. Like we talked about, like the Ohio State defense looks really strong. Indiana, like when we look back at their schedule, who they struggle, I don't want to say struggled the most against, was two teams we talked about before, Iowa, Oregon, who also have strong defenses. They were able to, Oregon only held them to 30 points. 30 points is still a lot. But yeah, Iowa was able to hold them to only 20. So there's something there, and I agree with that. And I like that look of the Heisman as well. I want you to know that intuitively, I don't run numbers. Intuitively, that 3.5 does seem low for Ohio State as well. I would have to agree with that. That's why when I first saw it, I'm like, doesn't seem so right. So maybe I'll click this post show. Any final thoughts? Any final flag planting moments? There's like three weeks left in the college football season before we get into like bowl game season and the playoffs here. Any like flag plants that you have? Any bold takes you want to send out to the universe? So if you're right, we can tweet about it. If not, we'll just forget about it.
I kind of thought that was one, Jay. Marcel Reed Heisman.
I like that.
Oh, man, you are putting me on the spot here. Listen, man, I think something weird is going to happen. As much as we just talked about the Indiana-Ohio State thing, and maybe it's kind of something as simple as like just Michigan beats Ohio State again somehow. It's college football. And as much as we go like, yeah, Indiana and Ohio State are headed for this matchup, and you can make the same case for Texas A&M and Alabama as much as we kind of think they're headed for a matchup. Weird stuff happens all the time that derails these matchups that we think that we're going to get come a conference championship weekend. Beyond that, and that could be something as small as like James Madison not making the Sun Belt title game and therefore kind of having their group of 5 bid derailed a little bit. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of really fun stuff here in November and a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily see coming. So, maybe the take is just keep your head on a swivel and don't get like too locked in to the take of, this team's going to make it for sure. What happened to Miami, right? People are knocking over the women and children to bet on Miami to do stuff this season, and that all fell apart in a matter of like 3 weeks. There's plenty of other teams that could happen to. We've seen it basically on a weekly basis this year.
Yeah. All right. Great points there. Appreciate you, Matt, for joining the show. We'll chat soon. You can find Matt's work on his Twitter. Link in the description down below. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome stuff there from Matt. Love the Heisman look. Maybe I didn't give him enough credit for that, but I loved it. I think I in the moments that I loved it. Maybe I didn't. Marcel Reed plus 650 makes a good case there again with saying Mendoza potentially having to face some tough defenses in the conference in the Big Ten conference finals there. Could be interesting. Plus 650. Yeah. Anyways, before we get into our next guest, before we bring on Hitman, gonna give a quick shout out to our sponsor. And by the way, Hitman, I know you're in the back right now. I didn't ask you this week to prepare for an anytime touchdown score, but make sure you do. I'm gonna give you some heads up here in case you forgot to do that. So FanDuel is making Week 10 even bigger with a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets this Thursday night. That's right, $2 million in bonus bets. Here's how it works: opt in and place an anytime touchdown score bet on the Broncos versus the Raiders. Using your profit boost, and if the player you pick scores either the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets, $1 million for each touchdown score. There's plenty of guys you can bet on for this game. You want to find someone who might get the first or last. When I scroll down the board, I want to look super, super far back because you guys know that's how I like to do things. Guy who's been scratched the last couple of games, Dante Thornton, anytime touchdown. The receiving group has opened up a bit for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we'll talk to Hitman about that. I just like Dante Thornton as a vertical threat. So in a game they're probably going to be down quite a bit, give me Dante Thornton. Anytime touchdown. You can get that 17-1, by the way, over at FanDuel. Pretty good price. We'll talk to Hitman about that after this ad read. Where's my ad read? I lost this. There we go. It's just one more reason to bet on the NFL with FanDuel. So whether you got a feeling about the opening drive or you're banking on a clutch finish, now's the time to get in on the game. Visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to download the app today and get started. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas Affiliation, Kansas Star Casino, 19 plus physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in must apply profit boost token on select markets. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China, Connecticut, or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, or visit or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario 1-866-531-2600. Visit connexontario.ca. All right. Up next, he's the best prop bettor I know. You can catch him tonight on our watch along. We've been crushing the fourth quarter props, but for some reason Hitman doesn't want to let us know what the record is. Anyways, Hitman, how's it going, my friend?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing good. Good. Nothing much. Give me your quick thoughts on the Dante Thornton anytime touchdown. Listen, I know he got scratched last couple of weeks. Didn't really play much.
I'll be honest. Like I just looked through the anytime touchdown stuff. I'm sorry, but I hate the card. I don't like really much of anything this week on anytime touchdown. I don't like the Thornton one.
Well, okay, hear me out though. There's a chance he doesn't play a single snap. So
nah, he'll play. He'll run a few routes. I think.
All right, that's all we need.
But it's just going to be so much 12 personnel from the Raiders, and it's like a fourth receiver on a team that's going to be 12 personnel as long as they can. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love much though on the anytime touchdowns, unfortunately.
All right, let's talk through these wide receivers then. You call them the fourth receiver. Like, listen, they use some draft capital on him. I like his field stretching ability. Kind of gives them something that they don't really have.
Yeah, but this is like a little preview for the game tonight. Like, I think the way it's going to work for the Raiders tonight is it's going to be very heavy 12 personnel. We kind of know that. The big question is who will be the second receiver for the Raiders. Jack Beck didn't run a route last week, and Tyler Lockett was out there. So, and the big thing with Lockett is that some people might think like he might be a slot receiver for them, but when they went to 11 personnel last week, he was an outside receiver, and Jacoby Myers was the slot. So the way I kind of think it's going to work is it's going to be Tucker and Lockett for the most part in 12 personnel. And Beck ends up being the slot receiver when they do go 11 personnel, and Thornton probably mixes in for a few routes is my guess.
All right, interesting enough there. It's just I like to bet on talent. I like to bet on guys who are like, good football players. I think Dante Thornton has something there. He's pretty young, he's fast, he's tall, he's big, great field stretcher. Tyler Lockett is just like so far over the hill. I just like it's crazy that they want to use him. Like one of the worst teams in the league. The Titans might be the worst team in the league. He was released from the Titans. How good of a player can he be? And it seems like Pete Carroll obviously connection there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's Pete Carroll, man. Yeah. The guy's 73 years old or however old he is, and like Tyler Lockett's one of his guys, and Tyler Lockett is one of Gino's guys also. So I think Tyler Lockett's going to step right in, and if I had to guess right now, Lockett ends up running the second most snaps for the Raiders in the receiving group.
Crazy stuff there. All right, let's flip over and talk the wide receiver group for the Broncos here. Marvin Mims not playing tonight. I believe he missed last week as well. We have Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram as like kind of guys will be out there. Any opinion here on the receiving game for these Broncos wide receivers? Anyone you like in particular? Anyone that you think could work in?
Yeah, I think my lean would be towards Evan Ingram. over. He's been bet under a little bit. I know he got bet under from 31.5 to 29.5, but I just call that a lean, like of all the Denver pass catchers on Ingram. Nate Atkins is out for this game, and I know it sounds like somebody that just doesn't freaking matter because he typically doesn't, but he does take a little bit of playing time away from Evan Ingram. And they ended up bringing in to replace Nate Atkins last week, Mercedes Lewis, and he was only out there for 6 snaps. He did not run a route last week, just led to a little bit more Ingram playing time. So again, not a strong feel or opinion, but Ingram just does get the slightest of boosts from Atkins being out. So that's probably where I'd look. I know there's been a lot of talk about Franklin getting a ton of targets, and like he's been almost equal to Sutton in targets. I get that, but Sutton has had some tough matchups. Like he had Stingley last week. I know in previous weeks there's some other shutdown. I know he had a bad game against the Jets when he had to go against Sauce Gardner and the other receivers were able to take advantage of that. I know he got the Quinyon Mitchell treatment when he went against the Eagles. So the Raiders really don't have a guy like some of those teams have had. So kind of think like gun to head that Sutton should maybe be a little bit wider separation from Franklin in his props. But again, this is just kind of just me spitballing with not a strong opinion.
All right. Well, it seems like not many strong opinions on this game, unfortunately for us. Any opinion on Pat Bryant here, who seems like he's kind of been working in since Marvin Mims has been hurt here? Like any opinion on him? His total right now is at 20 and a half, I believe, right now at FanDuel.
No, I mean, it's kind of priced
where it should be.
As if, you know, he's going to run probably 55, 60% of the routes. And that it probably sounds right to me.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to, like, again, like forced leans, like looking at guys in the Denver pass catching group, probably receiver wise, Sutton, and then the Ingram, I don't hate at that 29.5.
All right. Ingram, you don't hate. Let's flip over and talk some rushing. You talked about a lot about ton of 12 personnel coming out of the Raiders end of things. Obviously, seems like they're going to want to run the ball against this Denver defense. It's pretty good at stopping the run. But again, Pete Carroll's going to do what Pete Carroll thinks. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. 73 years old. What are you going to do? GT right now is at 55.5 rushing yards. Do you feel like that's about right? Is that too low, or is that something you might comment on?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been some people that I know have been playing as under, but for me, it's just such a bet on efficiency and game script going against him if you're going to take the under. I mean, he's such a freaking workworse, and he's honestly, like, a lot of his underlying metrics have looked pretty good. Yeah. It's just that he gets terrible blocking, and he's been going against some tough matchups. But I actually think he's been pretty decent this year with some of his underlying metrics. So, yeah, not much of an. I'll say like the sharp side on him tonight has been the under, but it's something that I'm likely staying away from.
All right, staying away from that. I want to talk Bo Nix in the running game, because we see oftentimes with these primetime games, quarterbacks tend to like just kind of eject and be willing to run, especially a guy like Bo Nix who's known to use his legs here. They'll probably not be in the game script to have him do that, but we've seen the Broncos kind of eke their way towards a couple wins where they're down early and they just can't get anything going. And then in the third and fourth quarter, second half of games, they're able to go a little bit, to get their offense going a little bit more. Do you think that there's a script here where Bo Nix can like kind of clear this 20.5 and maybe clear it by a lot, by like 25.5, 25 plus, 30 plus, something in the alt range, or are you not interested in that at all?
I don't know. I mean, I know that friend of the show, Mike Durso, he loves to play the quarterback overs in the primetime games. And the quarterbacks, like anytime touchdown, first touchdown, all that stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen the data that backs up anything with like betting the quarterback rushing overs in primetime. I am a big believer though in like the quarterback rushing stuff in like big games. but that's a narrative that has kind of gotten out there to the public, and like it gets impacted in the lines sometimes. But I hate to do it again, Jason, but just not much with the quarterback rushing. I think if I did have a lean on the Raiders prop side on anybody, it would probably be Trey Tucker.
Okay.
Over with Surtain not out there, like now number one receivers can theoretically have a little bit more success against Denver. Obviously, Tucker's going to be the guy that I think is going to get close to 100%. He's going to be the guy in 12 personnel, and I think that it maybe back in Lockett rotate just a little bit with Lockett leading that rotation. So I don't know. Forced lean would be Trey Tucker for the Raiders if I had to look towards one Raiders prop.
All right, Trey Tucker 43.5 towards the over on FanDuel. If you like that, any live angles you're going to be looking for, live things you're going to keep, because it doesn't seem like you like a lot in this game, but is there anything you're going to keep an eye on? I guess biggest thing that says the Raiders wide receiver rotation.
Live, I would definitely pay attention to Raiders 12 personnel usage.
Okay.
I would pay attention to their wide receiver rotation. I mean, if they end up running more 11 than anticipated, and like a Jack Beck could end up having value, or like a Michael Mayer under. I think it's kind of priced that they're going to be heavy 12 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are heavy 12, I don't think I'm going to run to do anything. But maybe if they end up running a little bit more 11 than I anticipated, I could see myself getting involved with a Beck over. So Raiders pass catchers is something that I would monitor in the first few drives of this game.
Yeah, all right. We're going to keep an eye on that. Of course, live on our watch along as well. And of course, Hitman will be there in the fourth quarter to give out some.
We still don't have a record on my year to date, Jason. When I did best bets and I went like 4-14 in a year, we had every day there was an update about what Hitman's record was. But I go on our watch along. What are we this year? Like something like 14-2, something crazy, Jason. I can't get an updated record. Yeah, well,
you got to start writing this stuff down yourself in a notebook. That's probably the best way to track it, or talk to Rob about it maybe. I will say though, Bo Nix, anytime touchdown score, at a normal place you can actually bet, which is FanDuel, plus 340 is one of the best prices in market. There's a plus 400 out there, but I doubt you'll be able to actually bet that. So Bo Nix, anytime touchdown score, plus 340. You like that, Hitman, or no?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone, but I just really don't love much with the anytime touchdowns this game. I know we've had stuff in the past few weeks, but I don't know. This one I'm not in love with.
Okay. I don't know if we heard that because you were muted that whole time, but I'm kidding. That's again, I just want to publicly apologize to you about that. I don't think the bit landed as well as I liked it to. But
it's all good. It's all good.
Blame Rob. Anyways, hey man, appreciate you. We'll see you on the fourth quarter of the Forward Progress live watch along of this horrid, atrocious game. Is there anything you're just going to be rooting for out of like the goodness of your heart, or like anything that you like are going to be we can like look forward to you rooting for in this game?
Raiders money line. I bet the Raiders over 5.5 wins before the season. Or no, was it? No, 6.5. I think. Oh God, I'm in trouble on that one. But yeah, Raiders over 6.5 wins. So I could use a Raiders outright win. They failed me last week. I thought they had it.
All right. Well, you were close. But if you want to get in and support Hitman this week, look at him, company man, best price in market on the Raiders right now is plus 430. Over on FanDuel. Company man, Hitman. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the fourth quarter. We'll chat soon.
See you soon.
Awesome stuff there from the Hitman. And I also feel so bad about that. But like, did you see that bit that we did where we just muted him the entire time and he was telling a story, Jacob?
Yeah. It was awkward to watch.
It was tough to watch. I just thought, I don't know. Thought it would have landed a little bit better, but I guess it didn't. We try.
You have some good moments with pranks, for sure. They can't all be winners. Can't all be first rounders.
Can't all be first rounders. You know what is a winner, though? It's our Discord. I don't know if you've heard, but our Discord is absolutely smashing. It's our Hammer Betting Network Discord. We have over 1,100 members right now. They're in there bantering about games. Rob's giving out his fair prices on anytime touchdown scores. You can chat directly with any of the creators, ask some questions about any bet you're trying to make. Also, Alex fires off some like Saturday NHL bets in there. So like in the morning, you can kind of wake up, roll out of bed, maybe you had a fun Friday night, a little bit hungover, you can fire right away. Work's all done for you there from Alex. You can join right now. Just head over to discord.gg/hammer. That's discord.gg/hammer. Link is in the description down below. If you're on Twitter, head over to YouTube. You can find the link in the description down below. All right. You know him and you love him from Edgework, but he's shifting hats today. We're going to talk some CFL with him. Mr. So Money, how's it going, my friend?
Unmute yourself.
This time it's not us muting him. It's him. You good, So Money? Uh-oh, he's still muted. Now his audio's not working. So Money, you're nervous when you're talking CFL. Things worked out for him last week, I will say. Alouettes win. BC Lions win. Like he came on the show and talked about. Excited to talk to him about the games this week, though, starting with the Alouettes and Ticats. Though. So Money, do we have you back now?
Looks like he's working on it.
He's working on it behind the scenes. Yeah. We'll buy him some time. It's all good. It's all good. The chat always loves.
I'd love to intervene, but I cannot talk shop when it comes to CFL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much either, but
the Argos didn't make the playoffs, right?
That's one thing that's for sure.
They played down the street from here.
Yeah, we're good here. There we go.
That's all I know.
There we go.
We got him.
What's up, So Money? How's it going? Chat loves you, of course, as always.
I'm good. I've come a long way here with my tech abilities, so I was able to figure out the microphone, which is great.
It's all right. You guys are great bettors, can work the apps, all that kind of stuff, ProLine, all of it, and then you can't figure out how to like connect the microphone to a computer. Like this is crazy stuff. It honestly always amazes me. It always amazes me. Anyways, appreciate you joining the show. Excited to talk some CFL today.
My pleasure.
You were bang on last week with what you wanted to happen, what you needed to happen there. Alouettes make their way through to the next round. Let's talk this Alouettes Tiger Cats game. Tiger Cats underdogs at home, +2.5 right now. Totals at 52.5. Talk us through this one here. Why are the Ticats dogs in this one?
Because they stink and the market knows it.
Okay.
No, I think we touched on it last week that I think that Montreal's going to go in there into Hamilton and they're going to beat the Ticats. We have to remember too. I touched on it a little bit last week, but when we look at Montreal's season-long numbers, we have to put that into perspective a bit. This was a team that was decimated by injuries for most of the season. They didn't have their starting quarterback. He's back now. The defense is flying a little bit. I wasn't too happy with how they led Winnipeg back into that game, but you got to take the score effects into account as well. They played really well building up that lead, and I think they probably let up a bit there. But yeah, the offense was flying. Defense room for improvement, but I think that against Hamilton here, a team that really I've been low on all year. They beat a bunch of shitty teams early in the season, built up a big lead. In that division, you had a Montreal team, as I mentioned, that was injured quite a bit. You had an Ottawa team that bad coaching, couldn't take advantage of the talent they have on that team, and just an off year for the Argonauts. So credit to Hamilton, they took advantage of it, got themselves into a bye situation, but we are really stepping up in class here against a Montreal team that should be firing on all cylinders and frankly should be a Grey Cup contender right now too.
All right, tough road for the Tiger Cats here, even though they get that bye. Totals at 52.5. Anything you like deeper on the board? Any props you like in this game, or you don't really do too many props here?
Yeah, CFL props are a little bit tough. I haven't gotten too involved in that. Although it is something that like I would like to start at some point. But hopefully as the league grows and as we get more liquidity in the market, that's something that I'd be interested in. But nothing for now. I do have a bet in this game though. Okay. The Alouettes -3 is fine. Preferably under a 3 is better. But I think that there are some 2.5s, but I think that 3 is the more widely available here across the board.
Well, we like to talk about FanDuel here as our great sponsor of the show, and they do in fact have that 2.5 at -118 available. So you're going to want to scoop that up. Let's move over to the next game. Talk BC Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders. Our Roughriders -194 favorites right now, -3.5 on the spread, -110 both sides. 53.5, slight juice towards the under, -115 in this game. Talk us through this game here.
Yeah, so the Lions took some money here recently. The Riders were painted at -3.5, and um, got down to a 3. Of course, anything around a 3 is pretty significant, even in the CFL. But this going to be a great game. I think that I have Saskatchewan futures, but this game it really concerns me here, because as good as Saskatchewan is, similar to Montreal, I don't think that we can look at BC's season-long numbers. We need to look at BC for what they have been the last few weeks, when they improved defensively, when Nathan Rohr kind of started getting back into the groove. It took them a while, and BC had to work through some O-line issues and O-line injuries as well. But they're a team that's clicking now too. So it's going to be a great game. I think that the 3 is fair. For this one, I definitely would have wanted under 3. If it gets there, I'll play Saskatchewan. If not, then I mean, unfortunately, I have to cheer for my cheer against my BC Lions. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. And also, the key to this game, I think, is going to come down to Nathan Rourke's legs. I think that if Saskatchewan is going to be able to limit BC overall in the run game, but the X factor here is going to be if Rohr can get out and run himself. And really, when he's slinging the ball and he's running, it's really difficult to stop for most teams. So that's something that Saskatchewan really has to be cognizant of here.
Yeah, I got to keep your eye on Nathan Rourke, absolute dog. Any bet you have for this game, or are you just kind of staying off it here?
Yeah, not right now. If it gets under a 3, I'll play Saskatchewan. But it's going to be cold as hell there too. So yeah, I'll be sitting this one out, just cheering for Saskatchewan.
All right. It also seems like we had a little bit of a move there on the Alouettes. Now -2.5, -124 over at FanDuel. That's the so money effect. That is the so money effect. Any futures you like here, or anything like kind of off the board? I know we only really have the Grey Cup winner here. Anything you like, you're going to scoop up, or you're just kind of going to lay off, and if you like anything, mechanically parlay it?
Yeah, not right now. I'm gonna lay off. Yeah, nothing right now for me besides the Riders.
All right, all good. We'll be talking CFL next week as well, hopefully with fun guests. Moretto's working on in the background. We'll have to preview that. Someone asked you to do one thing before we get into edge work. I know Moretto's going to be around here in just a second. Before we get into edge work, I know you're excited to get into that. I asked you to prepare something for me. I'm going to put you on the spot. It's Thursday Night Football game. I want you to give me an anytime touchdown score for this game and talk us through why you like it.
Sure. So I think so. Here's my elementary analysis of this game.
Let's hear it.
I think that since Brock Bowers has been back, one game, I think that we saw how different the Raiders' offense can be, and they're more willing to throw it down the field. I think that's going to continue, especially when you consider Denver's defensive injuries right now. So I think that, and in this game, theoretically, the Raiders should be trailing. So the game script should be set up for them to throw the ball downfield anyways. Of course, all the attention is going to be on Bowers, as it should be, but I think that's going to open up something for Trey Tucker. So anytime touchdown scorer, FanDuel has it at +350, and that's where I like it as well.
All right, Trey Tucker, anytime touchdown scorer, +350. And hey, if you like it as him scoring your first or last touchdown, you can put your little millions boost on it. Get a share of $1 million if he if he scores his first or last touchdown. All right, that wraps up today's show. So many appreciate you joining us. We're gonna pop you out here, and then we're gonna pop you back in with Alex in just a second. So many we'll talk in like just about a minute.
Sounds good.
All right, awesome stuff there from So Money. We're going to bring on the Edgework guys in just a second. And, of course, we've got to see first the fists in the chat. Before we do that, just want to give you a quick rundown of what we have coming up over on the Hammer Betting Network. Today, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Best Bet Show with Rob, with the crew of Austin and Suma. Again, like I mentioned earlier, talking through their favorite bets on the board. Talking through every single game as well, but they'll give out their 3 favorite bets that is on the board Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Then after that, we have our 8 p.m. watch along live for this gross Raiders Broncos divisional matchup. Should be a lot of fun. Listen, the game might not be, but the stream will be. So, guarantee that.
So it's supposed to be George and Alex. That's what the graphic says. Alex is muted right now. -110. Does Alex show up for this?
-110 both sides. I'm going to hammer the no until I can move it to like -200.
He's missed a lot. I think this time he's going to come through. I'm gonna hit the yes.
Wait, are we talking in office or are we talking just on the stream in general?
He has to be present in office.
In office, we're going to go like -200, -250. Like, I'll take that all the way out. Like, I'm curious what the chat has.
And he won't be here?
They will not
I'll take that. I would take that he'll be here. Alex, I believe in you. Don't let me down.
All right.
Bring him on.
All right, let's bring him on then. Mr. So Money, you just saw him. Alex Moretto, how's it going, my friends? Alex, you got to give us the update. Will you be in officially or no?
Do I get a little drum roll or anything or no? It's just this. That's it. I just got to give my answer.
I don't know if you guys can hear this. I'm doing it right now.
I will not be in there tonight.
Oh, there you go. See, I told you. I told you.
Oh, sorry.
What this time?
Sorry. This time we'll find out what I still have to work on a reason for next week. But this week my furnace has been out. That's why I'm actually kind of bundled up here, and they're installing a new one tomorrow. So not staying at my house. Not staying at my house these next couple of days.
So you're cold in your own house. So your decision to not come to the office so that you can stay in your house, which is cold, to watch the game.
No, I would love that. I would love that actually if I could stay at my house by myself without my family for a couple of days. Love my family, but everyone loves a couple of days off as well. But no, staying with my parents. So kind of tough to leave my family with my parents when I'm and then me to just get out of there for a while. So it's been a rough week. I still have to come up with a reason for next week. But hopefully the games start to get better soon. And
what is this next week Thursday night football game? I don't even know what it is.
It's Jets Patriots, so I'll see you in like 2-3 weeks.
All right. Well, that's atrocious. That is terrible. Anyways, let's get into the board here. Let's get into edge work. I see the edgers in the chat are eager to get started on this one. And by the way, last Tuesday we were very close to hitting 3 of 4, but not 4 of 4. Happens. Anyways,
start round robining these.
Yeah, that's
also when did Hitman join the Matt Albert School of Content? With the no, I don't like anything. No opinion here. I think this is fair. No, nothing here. No. I'm like, oh my god, all right. Just say I'm not betting anything on the game, and let's move on to the hockey segment. I was sitting there in agony waiting for this to happen.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I tried to get as much as I can out of him. I usually drop some nuggets here and there. Nothing left for us other than that 12 personnel stuff, which you can probably attack live. Maybe we will on the live stream. Anyways, let's get into the first game on the board here. Alex is going to let you lead your Habs taking on the New Jersey Devils. Devils right now -144 on the money line. Heavy juice towards the under here at 6.5, -134 on FanDuel. Talk us through this game. I know you love the Habs. You're wearing the hat, so is this going to be a best bet here?
It's not anymore. It was going to be at one point. I couldn't believe how high it opened. The Devils being priced I don't know. I just thought it was a really disrespectful number to the Habs and maybe overinflating the Devils at those early, high 130s across the board. It's been since bet into place, I would say. I still do like an under in this game. That unfortunately has run a bit too, but there's still some +/-6s. -101, which maybe is okay too. But if you can scoop up one of those +/-6s, I think that's still pretty good on the under here. The Habs are still, playing some really good team defense, and Dobish has been outstanding. They're back to him here. The Devils are really not generating a ton, and they have been giving up a bit more lately, to be fair. But on home ice, they've been a lot stingier. Finally back home after a lengthy West Coast trip. Devil special team due for some serious regression. I think their penalty kill hopefully should be able to keep the Habs power play a little bit in check, and that power play it just can't keep running as hot as it has. So I like this to be a bit of a tighter game between two teams that can play good team defense. Hopefully some good goaltending. I thought the early 6.5s were crazy, but now even the 6s plus money, I think there's still a little bit of room there.
All right, 6+ money. There's still some room there. So, Money, you echoing the same sentiment here, or you like something different?
Yeah, no, I played the under as well. I think the plus money Sixers are good. Alex touched on it. Dobish has been outstanding. He is the number one goalie there, right, Alex?
Yeah,
he's been great. I agree with Alex's thoughts about Jersey's team defense. It has struggled a bit, but I think that was also on the road, on a long road trip. Like there's in situations like that, for a team that prides itself on or trying to pride themselves on playing stronger defensively, there's other things like that that I'll let slide. But coming back at home, I think that we should expect a much better defensive effort from the Devils, and Montreal has been playing fine defensively too. So I think we're going to get a good low scoring hockey game here.
All right, good low scoring hockey game. Should be fun to watch. Let's move on to the next game here. Wild taking on the Hurricanes. Hurricanes, big favorites in this one, minus 188. Looking at the under right now is 6.5 is juiced to minus 130. Overs at plus 106. So, Money, we'll start with you. Anything you like in this game?
No, I don't like anything here. Very, very low on Wild. I think that, even their win against Nashville the other night. I mean, that was a situation where I do penalize them for that win, for not looking better in that game with the situation that Nashville was in. So like my thoughts on the Wild haven't changed. I don't think that they're a particularly good team, and I think they're going to struggle to make the playoffs. For Carolina, it's a big number, but it's not something that I'm going to get in front of Carolina for right now.
All right, not getting in front of that. Let's flip over to Alex. Alex, do you like anything here in this game? Echoing the same sentiment as So Money, or what's going on?
I do. As I look at it, I think my on-screen is correct. The under in the Habs game just got absolutely blasted. So hopefully you got in there in time, because that just moved 10 cents at a pretty prominent market making book. So in terms of the Wild and Hurricanes, I do actually have a bet in this game. I bet an over here, over 6. I think this should be 6.5 across the board. So I bet over 6 to minus 120. I mean, I talked about how the Wild are just playing pond hockey right now. I'm pretty terrified for this defense going up against Carolina's high volume offense. I think that Carolina is going to be able to generate whatever the hell they want in this game. My only concern with this over is that they kind of get like a 4-0 lead and just sort of suffocate the game, which is obviously very possible. But I think, with the guys that are out for them on the back end, it's a lot harder for them to do that. So it's going to be a situation where the Wild do have enough elite offensive talent where they should be able to get theirs and force Carolina to keep scoring. So I think there's potential for a lot of goals in this one. Hopefully the Wild can score, because I know they've been struggling to do that a little bit of 5-on-5, but their numbers offensively have been fine. Both teams defensively can kind of be had right now. So I think this should be 6.5. I bet an over 6.
All right, you're betting over 6 in this one. Let's flip over and talk Senators, Bruins. No money line yet, by the way. We got to prepare for that round robin. The people are clamoring for it. So just to let you guys know, Bruins at home, been decimated all year. Look to be pretty bad. Bruins plus 116 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 at FanDuel, minus 130 towards the under. Anything you guys like here? Alex, we'll start with you.
I mean, I think it goes without saying what I like in this game and what I bet in this game.
Yeah.
But it's another Sens under. Here we go, back to the well, because I hate myself. I wanted to wait for Korpisalo to kind of get into the right time. Kind of figured the way they've been deploying the goalies that they would go that way, and they did. Now you're even seeing some plus money flash on these 6s. Like I just. Bruins defense has come along quite a bit compared to where they were earlier in the season, kind of uncharacteristically playing some more high event games. That's not how they need to play hockey. That is not how they want to play hockey, and they've sort of corrected things. The Sens, I read the newsletter on Monday. You'll know my thoughts on the Sens and why I like their unders. I like it again here. 6 plus money. Give it to me. Can't wait for this to end 5-3 on like 13 combined shots.
All right. Sens under again, back to the well. Do you also give these out on Saturdays as well?
I gave a Sens under out on Saturday, yes, and then they scored 3 goals on like 14 shots on Montembeault, and I hated myself. It was not fun. It's not been fun. I will say, I said that in the newsletter. I said it's not been fun betting these Sens unders, but like we deserve a lot better. I still firmly believe that. So here we go.
All right, going back to the wall on that one. So Money, any echoing the same sentiment here on the Senators unders, where you just kind of not blind betting them, but like looking towards them in market?
I would like to bet Senators unders long term. I agree with Alex there, but tonight's not the night for me. I do have a bet on the side though.
Okay.
I did bet the Senators money line. A little steep on the road. I concede that it's not usually the place that I like to be, but the way that I see this Boston team, they've been getting results lately. But even their last game against the Islanders, which we won on the show here, I think they were a little bit lucky to win that game. So I think that, and I from what I see from Ottawa, they should be able to respond after whatever that was against Montreal there. But yeah, I think that we'll see a good response from Ottawa against a Boston team that has been getting results, but I think that that it's going to be tough for them here tonight. And we're getting Korpisalo and Ned, which is a nice benefit. The problem I'm having though is the price. I think it's run quite a bit here. I wanted Ottawa at under minus 135. So that's where I had priced it as my ceiling. So throughout the day, if you're able to get it under minus 135, that's where I like the Sens.
On the 6.5.
No, on the Sens.
Sorry, on the Sens side. My bad. Sorry about that.
This is a minus Korpisalo revenge game though. So money.
Oh,
Korpisalo revenge game.
Is Allmark
going to be? We might have to bet his anytime goal here. I mean,
this
is what we live for.
If he scores an empty net goal, I'm going to lose my mind because you're never going to be able to bet that. It's not a thing. But like,
no. Allmark is in net as well. Yes.
Okay.
So this is a revenge game across the board.
The double revenge game.
Double revenge game
for the goal.
So they cancel each other out.
How do we do Allmark and Korpisalo anytime goal parlay? Like that's.
Of course, we got in just. Both like 60-minute shutouts or something.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's flip over and talk Blues, Sabres. Sabres at home right now, minus 134 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, minus 128. We'll start with you, Mr. So Money. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, this one was a tough one for me because I do come in lower on the Blues, and they haven't really shown me anything to make me change my opinion of them. At the same time, you look at Buffalo, who I am higher on, but that's a pretty steep number, even at home. So, yeah, I'm gonna pass. I do lean the Blues just based on the number, and I did show an edge on the Blues based on the number, but I have to step in here and not actually bet this game right now. So I will end up passing.
All right, you're passing on that. Are you looking for a number to pop at all that you think will come, or do you think it's just never going to come?
I mean, if I get the Blues plus 120, I'll do that. But that's never going to happen though.
Okay. All right, I just have to ask for that, just in case. You never really know. You could see it somewhere out there. Plus 112 right now at FanDuel. So maybe something crazy happens. You get that someone likes the Sabres, and you get the Blues at plus 120. Alex, you got anything for this game? Are you echoing the same sentiment where you want to bet the Blues, but the number's not really there?
Yeah, it's funny. I sent someone my stuff this morning, and I said, this is what I want, and this is what I like, and I'm kind of waiting on. And one of the ones I was waiting on was the Blues. I said, I think we'll be able to get a little bit better. And we didn't get better. It just got bet. And so I don't regret passing it like the plus 117s that were out there this morning, but I did kind of want to bet the Blues because I think the Sabres are still a little bit inflated based on what they're showing. I'm a little surprised, though, I got to say, that the Blues, unless I missed something, like, did Binnington get hurt? He just got pulled last night, right? I'm surprised they didn't go back to Binnington here. Why pull him if you're going to just start Hofer tonight anyways? Like, at that point, just keep Binnington in all game. I don't know. I kind of expected Binnington to come back after that rough outing last night and turn in a better performance, but the fact that it's probably going to be Hofer now too is like makes me even more okay with passing this morning. So nothing in this game. All
right, maybe it was the karma of trying to steal the 900th goal puck of.
People are like shitting on him. Like I think he was screwing around too. Right? Yeah. I mean, he knows there's a million cameras out there. Like he's got like that like eccentric goalie personality. In no world did he think I'm going to keep this puck in my pants all game and get away with it and like never give it to him eventually. Like, that just wasn't a thing that was going to happen.
Yeah, I know. I fully agree with you. I just also thought it was absolutely hilarious and very on brand for thing for him to do. Like,
yeah.
Also, who cares?
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal. Like, he's gonna get the puck.
Also, eventually. Like playing with a puck in your pants is like fairly risky. Like I don't think that's a thing. So
whatever works for you, man.
yeah.
I don't judge you.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Let's flip over and talk the team that was on the other side against the Blues last night, the Capitals, playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins here. Seems to be about a pick'em, slight juice towards the Capitals here at -114, -105 for the Penguins on the money line. Total 6.5 on FanDuel, juice towards the under -122. Alex, we'll start with you on this game. What do you like?
I've seen in the chat that Calgary was scratched tonight too.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Anyways, on this game, I have nothing on this game. I want the Caps. I'm really tempted to bet the Caps. I don't know why. I don't know what's holding me back from pulling the trigger. But I do still really like this Caps team. I probably will end up betting it at one point today. The market hasn't loved them, so it feels like there's not like a crazy rush to get in. But I think the bottom's going to fall out for Pittsburgh at one point soon, and they're still showing enough to give me a little bit of hesitation in the interim. But maybe Monday's game blowing that lead is kind of like the start of them just their tailspin. I will say that Lindgren being in net makes me a little nervous too, because Logan Thompson's been incredible for them this year, and he's kind of masked a lot of their weaker games or a lot of their kind of tougher outings, at least especially defensively. And Lindgren has not been able to do that, and not even close to the level that Thompson has. So that makes me a little bit nervous too. I was looking at an over here, but when it opened last night, I thought maybe we could see, just based on the under money that came in yesterday on the game, I thought maybe is there a chance we see some like 6 -120 at one point, and that just never has come close to happening. So I ended up not betting anything yet. Still might get in on an over. Still might get in on the Caps. I'm just kind of waiting a little bit here.
A lot of sitting on the sidelines today for us over on Edric, but that's the way it is. We don't want to lie to you guys. We're going to be honest over here and talk you through what we like. The Kyrou stuff is just, by the way, absolutely crazy. Like, I get that he only has 8 points, 14 games, but it's not like just a him thing. It's like a everyone thing. Anyways, sorry, getting sidetracked here. I don't know, but I don't think he wants to go to Montreal. Capitals, Penguins, so money. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, so while Alex hesitates to pull the trigger, I'm gonna go in and do it for him. I did bet the Caps. I like them. I do agree with Alex's sentiments though in terms of the downgrade in goaltending, and also I do expect Pittsburgh to. They've been playing well. I mean they've exceeded expectations. All credit to them, but I also agree that I think that at some point here we're gonna see the bottom fall out, and I think this is a Capitals team that they have cost me money because I've been lower on them, and I'm coming around to them a bit. I did like what I saw from them after a couple of days off there. They had a couple extra days off after the Buffalo game. And I did like the way that they looked yesterday. On the surface, it looks like that they gave up a lot of high danger chances, and maybe they didn't play as well defensively. But you got to take the score effects into account there as well. That was a game that was well in hand. I thought that the Capitals took it to them. It was in control, and if you're going to give up chances when you're trying to bring a game home, like I'm not going to penalize you on that too much. So I do like the Caps, like them up to -115 here. So I did bet them, and that's another side that we have for our round robin.
We had it. We had that side for the round robin, but it's now -1. Now moved -120 over on FanDuel. So, Mr. So Money, I don't know if those were your words that did it, but it seems like it might have been. Who knows? Now -120. Were you clicking behind the scenes there as you were talking through it? What was happening there?
Would I ever do such a thing, guys?
No, I would never think you. I'm just playing around here. All right, let's flip over. Talk next game. Ducks, Stars. Stars -184 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 -124. So Money will let you lead with this one. Talk us through this game.
Oh, I really love this Ducks team this year. They're fun to watch. It's nice to see the kids coming together now. And I mean, they play a really fun brand of hockey. It's not long-term winning brand right now, but that's not their concern right now. They know they're not challenging for a cup right now. So I like the way that they're playing. I like the way that things are coming together here. Um, Dallas, they did show well against Edmonton. We did lose that game. Unfortunately, it was a blown lead in the third period, but to be fair to Dallas, they did deserve to win that game. That was a game that the Oilers were fortunate to have that lead in the third period. So that was a blown lead that didn't upset me too much because the team that was supposed to win won that game. That being said, I think that the Ducks are still flying under the radar here. They continue to get these big numbers. They continue to play well. And even with Ottinger back in net here, I think that, so I'm at the plus 150 range. I'm good with it, and I will bet it imminently here.
All right.
I do like the Ducks.
All right. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Alex, you also quacking here?
Yeah, I hate myself because I came on here in September and talked about how much I love this Ducks team and I want to bet this Ducks team and they're going to make the playoffs and they're so underrated by the market. And then I come into the season and every game we're like, so what do you think about the Ducks tonight? I'm like, yeah, like them, but like not yet. And then of course, like they just win every game. And I'm like, well, what? Do I like this team or do I not like this team? Because I say I like this team and then I don't bet this team. So it doesn't make sense. I am betting this team tonight. It is a big number. It is a Stars team that I do talked about still wanting to fade a little bit with these injuries. Yeah, I mean, the dad Ottinger tonight, first game back after having his kid, very narrative-y and likely doesn't matter. But scares me just a little bit. No, go Ducks here. This is a big number and this is a team that should start getting a little bit more respect because honestly, they just have the talent to outscore their inefficiencies a little bit. Some teams just don't always have to play well to win games. And when you have like elite scorers and stuff like that up front, you can kind of mask some of your inefficiencies. And that's kind of what they're doing right now. So at these big prices, they are pretty attractive.
All right. Plus 146 right now. Another move at FanDuel here for the Ducks. Someone in the chat must be with a nefarious account must be clicking these because when you talk about them, they're moving. Up next, Flyers, Predators. Predators minus 120 favorites at home here. Total's a lot lower than most games we see. 5.5 minus 110. Gross game. It seems like. Alex, you like anything in this game?
No, I don't. This is. Flyers unders talked about quite a bit, but this is, as gross as both these teams are right now offensively, this is, I think the market's kind of fairly pricing the Flyers games right now. Here we're getting a flat 5.5. Nashville took some money, which I don't necessarily fully agree with. I do like the Flyers instinctively in this spot, but like Nashville's shown better lately, and they've kept me off of betting against them. I have more respect for them than I did last week when I came on and just completely shit on this team. So I will take back what I said about the Predators. They still have some fight and some spine in them. Not going to bet anything in this spot.
All right, laying off at this spot here. So money, you looking to take the Flyers for our underdog parlay here? Or again, just nothing you like.
Look, like the Predators have hung around there the last couple of games in tough spots, right? So you have to give them credit for that. They're not laying down in these games like they did last year. That being said, you look at this number here. That's a big gross number against for a Nashville team that is not good, even though they hang around in games. So I think that Nashville is the right side. I would expect a good effort from them. It's tough for Philadelphia's game here to carry on the road. I think they'll have some difficulty with Nashville, but in the end, I think it's priced fairly right now. So I will, I'm gonna pass on this game. I would have needed cheaper on Nashville even before the run on the Predators. So we're not gonna get that now for sure. And Philadelphia is not there for me either. So this is a game that I'm gonna pass on.
All right, 2 more games left. Quick reminder to the chat: do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. get those numbers up, because if half you who are watching right now like the stream, we'll have double the amount of likes we currently have. Takes 2 seconds, so do us a favor. Smash the like button. All right, let's talk Panthers and Kings. Kings let us down 2 nights ago. They beat who they beat? Did they play the Stars? Jets. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Wrong Western Conference team. Listen, 48 hour, 72 hour fast. It's creeping up on me a little bit here. Panthers.
Still going, eh?
I'm still going. I'm gonna go.
Crazy,
gonna go through all the way till tonight. So maybe I'll go till tomorrow morning as well. We'll see. Kings, Panthers. Kings right now favorites at home, -114 here. Totals at 5.5, -120. Just listen. Looking at some numbers here, I like to focus a lot more on football during the football season than flip back over to the NHL. But like, Panthers have just been getting PDO bombed lately for basically the entire season. I could be wrong there, but that's what I saw. This number is shocking to me. Alex, talk us through this one. Why do we see it? Essentially, it's close to a pick 'em, but Kings favorite at home. I still like the Panthers here. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, Jason, I think maybe we should switch roles, because you're right. I do like the Panthers here too.
There we go.
I bet the Panthers. I mean, hasn't really moved much from when I bet it. Trickled a few cents, nothing really. I mean, this is one of those. I talked about this with the Panthers in the newsletter too. This is one of those more higher prestige games for the Panthers, where like doesn't matter how we view the Kings in the league, they're looked at as like kind of a top team or perennial playoff team. That's the type of game and team the Panthers will get up for, especially coming off that loss the other night against the Ducks where they allowed 7 goals. Very uncharacteristic loss. Type of game where they will look to bounce back from and put in a good effort here. They're still playing great hockey. And like, I mean, I want to find ways to bet on this Panthers team. And I think this is a really, really good buy low spot against the Kings, who granted are coming off some good games against the Jets and Devils. But like, I think both of those teams, the Jets and Devils, are something of, I don't want to say paper tigers, but like the way they're viewed by people or fans or whatever is not necessarily, doesn't match what their metrics have shown thus far. So I think they're teams that are playing a lot better than they actually are. So it makes sense that the Kings would maybe, turn in some good games. Right? I'm not going to put a ton of stock into that. The Panthers are very much not a paper tiger. They're a very good team, and I think they're pretty undervalued in this spot. A game where I do expect them to get up for. And I really like this spot for Florida. So we'll see.
All right, we're going to add that into the money line parlay. It looks like we're not going to be doing 2s, 3s, and 4s on the round robin right now. We're probably only going to be doing 3s and 4s if we can get one more team in there. So money, Panthers, Kings. You like anything in this game? You like the Panthers here?
I do. And look, I will always admit when I feel that I was wrong on a team. I've done that with the Capitals. I've done that with many teams over the years. I really don't think I'm wrong on the Kings. And a win against the Jets is not going to change my opinion. Now, I mean, granted, in like a month, I may see something else and like, yeah, I was wrong on LA, but I don't feel like that right now. So I did bet the Panthers as well. I agree with all of Alex's thoughts. I think that we see a response from the Panthers after that showing against the Ducks. Even though the Panthers are theoretically taking it easy right now, there are certain games that they're going to go show up for. And I think that after their performance, what happened in Anaheim, I think that this is a game that they're going to show up for. And if they do show up for it, and if the Kings are as bad as I think they are, it should be pretty straightforward here for the Panthers. So yeah, I do. I did bet the Panthers. I do like the Panthers here. And there's still movement. There's still room to go in the market, in my opinion. So yeah, I bet the Panthers here.
All right, we like the Panthers right now on FanDuel -105. Where's that? Yeah, you can't get that. Yeah, -105 seems to be markets around like seeing -103s. There's -105 pretty much everywhere. Let's close it out here with the Lightning and the Golden Knights. Knights at home -122 on the money line. Total's at 5.5, but we have it juiced towards the over here at -132, +108 towards the under. So money, we'll start with you. Anything you like?
I do. I play Tampa Bay here.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Alex is going to agree with me here. He's probably higher on Tampa Bay than I am, and I'm pretty high on them. So, yeah, I do. I like the number. I like the situation. Vegas, nothing to take away from Vegas. I think that they are eventually going to become an elite team. as we move forward in this season. They're not quite there yet. And I think they're running into a Tampa Bay team, even with the loss against Colorado. That's a Tampa Bay team that really is clicking on all cylinders. And I'm not going to penalize them for losing to either the 1A or 1B team in the league right now. And that was a great game too. So I've got Tampa Bay here. Anything plus money, I'm good with Tampa.
All right, plus 102 available at FanDuel. You agree with this one, Moretto? You were going to add this into the money line parlay and lock it in here?
Oh yeah,
right.
Bolt up. This is it. I love this. Love our Lightning. I think this is pretty disrespectful number for the second best team in the NHL. The only team that they should be catching. At least at the plus 115 Opers was very disrespectful. I still think there's value, and I would still bet it at this number. But like plus 115, I mean, come on, the only team that they should be plus 115 against is those Avs, who are the best team in the NHL right now. So this is a Lightning bet for sure. All in on these Atlantic Division teams tonight on these West Coast trips. So what could go wrong?
All right, love it. And then let's recap the money line parlay we built out here for the chat. If you guys want to round robin it, doing it. I've been round robining them. We lost last week. We won. Sorry, keep saying last week. We lost last Tuesday. Won in the previous week when we hit 3 of 4. Ducks plus 146 at FanDuel. Capitals minus 120. Panthers minus 110. Lightning plus 102. You can get that. Combine those together on FanDuel. 16 plus 16.39 or 16-1. Make it a little bit easier for you guys. And if there's a profit boost token, you might want to use it as well on this. Why not? Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. Any last thoughts here? Anything you want to get off your chest? So Money or Alex, I'll let you guys have the floor. Alex, we'll start with you. Is there anything you want to talk about?
No. I got nothing.
All right, still clicking Demidov for Calder to make sense.
Yes,
no real update there, but yes, just
absolutely still clicking that.
All right,
every chance I get.
So Money, anything here? You have any opinions, futures, anything?
No, I got nothing here either. I'm good.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you guys joining the show today. We'll chat soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Awesome stuff there, guys. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way. Here on the channel, if you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. Haven't been asking for subscribers as much lately, but we've been chugging along. So I'm going to have to start asking again because you know what? Does a lot for us here. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And maybe I'll ask one more thing of you guys. If you like, I know the Edgeworth community is super tight, but if you have friends who like the NHL, NFL, college football, college basketball, heck, even Canadian football. I almost did it again. CFL, Canadian football. Tell your friends about us. Goes a long way. Maybe get them to tune in. Maybe get them to subscribe. Maybe get them to like. We want to build this community as our Discord's been building, as the Hammer Daily's been building. Circle Back, everything's been building. So let's get them in. Get your friends into the Hammer Betting Network universe. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Tomorrow, it's gonna be a Friday. We got G-Sack George coming on. Talk NFL Survivor. We're also going to put together another underdog parlay, which we kind of been loving to do. We were 1 of 3 last week on those. Close though.
Had 1 of 3.
No, wait. Sorry, 2 of 3. We had Cardinals. The one we missed was the Raiders. It was Cardinals and got to pull this up.
Who did the Raiders?
Oh, sorry. We were 1 of 3, but Atlanta and Vegas both lost by 1 point.
So you lost.
Yeah.
The bet.
Well, I mean, if you watch the Falcons game, they should have won that game. That was like a deserve-to-win-o-meter for the Falcons. And the Raiders, again, who did they play last week? They were against the Jaguars. They lost in overtime.
Right.
So it was that's, by definition, very close.
We went 1 of 3.
1 of 3. Well, we're going to try and do better this week.
And it didn't matter. If it was 2 of 3, 1 of 3, you lost.
Yeah, well, we should honestly be taking the spreads in those games instead of the money line then, I guess.
Just take their money line. Yeah.
Take the
spreads
if
you want.
Yeah. Austin Mock going to come on as well, talk some college football, week 11 college football, and then Pips close out the show. What a great way to close out our Friday. Pips come on, give some NBA talk, some props and the like. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. Wraps it up for us here today. This has been the Thursday, November 6th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over on FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.